Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6.
China is asshole!
Well, if you're turning that down, you're turning me.
China is asshole!
Well, well, should I say ho ho ho, as it's now the Christmas season properly? It's everywhere, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it kind of is. It seems to be getting earlier and earlier every year, doesn't it?
It's all
It used
over.
to be the 1st of December before you could even put decorations up, but people are decorating now.
Yeah, no, yeah. They're decorating. The Christmas adverts are all over the telly. The supermarkets look like festive hellholes. It's that time of year. It really is.
Indeed.
Indeed, it is. Anyway, how are you this afternoon?
I'm all right.
Yeah, see, you've had a lovely little haircut there, a little bit of a trim,
Yes, a little bit of a coiffure.
a tidy up, if they will.
Mm-hmm.
If they will, if you will. You did. You definitely did. So, let's do it. Let's get straight into what the title of the show is about. It's Alex Jones, isn't it?
Yeah. So it appears that according to Elon Musk, there are lines in free speech.
Well, see,
Let's go back to basics.
yeah,
Why was Alex Jones banned from Twitter in the first place?
for insulting a politician.
Okay, about...
I can't remember exactly what it was. He mocked them in Congress, I believe.
Okay, so he's been banned for that from Twitter, but Elon's not going to reinstate him because...
Of something else he did.
Because he profited from the pain of children?
Well, the pain of parents.
Okay, allegedly.
Over the Sandy Hook thing. Now, he tweeted over the weekend that Twitter's new policy is free speech. But, and then there was that but. You can say
always a but, isn't there?
But he didn't say that you'd be banned. He said you can say it, but you will essentially be shadow banned. You'll be demoted. People won't be able to see things that are quote unquote hateful, and that bothered me.
That's not free speech then.
Well, it is to an extent.
No, it's not. It's not, because if you are shouting, right, into an empty room, that's not free speech.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see your point.
I mean, if you're going to speak freely, then people have to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
So you can't tell someone they've got the freedom to speak if no one can hear them, because that's not the freedom to speak.
He's saying that, you know, people will still be able to see your content, but only if they come and search it out specifically. But what bothers me the most is this term hateful. What does it even mean? Who decides what it means?
Subjective term. I mean, it's no use. It doesn't mean anything. It's subjective. It's like, did you see that video of the cop? The guy was winding her up. Sorry, was winding him up. And then he said, but he told me I can't do that. And she went, what do you mean? He, I'm a female. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
It was so funny.
I did. It's insane. The world is going insane. It really, really is. But very subjective indeed. Like as is being said in our chat right now. It bothers me. It concerns me greatly that some arbitrary faceless person still in Silicon Valley will still get to decide your intent.
But why wouldn't he? Because let's face it, and it's actually quite relevant because of the short I put up this morning. But
right,
these are our controllers. These people, not your politicians. These people are your controllers. These are the people that call the shots. These are the people that have got all the money. They're the ones that spend billions lobbying to get what they want.
Yeah.
Right? And don't get me wrong, they get what they want.
Of course they do.
You know, because politicians are all bought and paid for, regardless of where they are. You know, it's very, very rarely you come across a politician that's an honest man or woman. You just don't.
See,
because they're all bought and paid for.
So last Saturday, Dave Chappelle did the opening on Saturday Night Live. He hosted Saturday Night Live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he made a point, and I won't be able to do this as good as he did, but he made a point. He said, despite the fact he's a Democrat, he sees what people saw in Trump because Trump was what he calls an honest liar. He says, because nobody's ever seen this before. He goes, gets up on that stage with Hillary Clinton and says the system is rigged. And she looks at him and goes, well, how do you know the system is rigged? And he looks back at her and he went, because I use it.
Exactly.
and nobody had ever seen anyone do that before. And then he turned around and he said, "And you're not, if you want me to not use the system to get all of those juicy tax breaks, then change the system." Then he turned around to her, but then he turned around to her and he said, "But you won't, because all of your friends and all of your donors enjoy the same things that I do." And then the way Dave Chappelle paraphrased it, he said, "This guy literally comes on stage. This is the first time I've ever seen a politician do this. Comes out of the house, points back at the house and says, 'Everything you think we're doing back in that house, we're doing it.'" And then just turns around, walks back in the house and continues to do it again.
Yeah, of course he does. And let's face it, it's the same in the UK. I mean, look at Rishi Sunak and his wife, right?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Who's playing the system? The system is rigged, and she's played the system. And it's only when he actually ascends to the mighty pillar of being the prime minister, which, let's face it, he doesn't need to be, because he doesn't need the money. So this is all about power, right?
Yeah, of course it is.
But yeah, she's been playing the system. She's been avoiding paying tax, which, remember, is perfectly legal.
Perfectly legal.
Perfectly legal. Can't fault her for that. But the public furore is that, tax avoidance is something that people shouldn't be doing. Well, if you don't want people avoiding tax, make it tax evasion, because that's illegal, right? So make your mind up. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't be taxing anyone, because you don't need it. You don't need to tax people. Look at the countries that don't tax people, and they are the wealthiest countries in the world.
But anyway, going back to this Alex Jones thing, right? I am torn, because obviously on the one hand, there is the argument that it is his company, it is his platform, he can ultimately do what he wants. But on the other hand, he's got actual child killers on the platform, like Barack Obama, like Tony Blair, and I'm quite happy to call these people, at least indirectly, child killers, because
they made the orders that have resulted in the death of children.
They have, and so you've got to. He says that people shouldn't be profiting off that, but is Barack Obama not, or Tony Blair even, not profiting off of what they did?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, because what Musk is doing here is he's making a play to emotion. Yeah, he's making a play to emotion, and he's thinking with, has he got a heart? I don't know.
I don't know.
Does Tony Stark have a heart? We don't know. But anyway, so he's making a play to emotion, and you know what? Make your mind up.
Yeah.
You're either for free speech or you're not. Because Alex Jones, regardless of what he said and how offensive it is, right, he's still entitled to freedom of speech, as other people like Julian Assange, and these people get their freedoms taken away from them.
Yeah.
And unfairly, unjustly. And it's like, make your mind up, Musk.
Well, exactly.
Just because you've got billions doesn't give you the right to call the shots.
Well, he owns the platform, so ultimately he does. And the
platform's still public. It's still being traded, isn't it?
No.
So have you had your payout for your shares?
Yeah.
Oh, he's paid you, and you've lost. You don't have shares in it anymore.
No.
All right. Okay.
It's a private company.
Right. Okay.
I have nothing.
I didn't realise he'd done that now.
Yeah, it's a private company, completely 100% owned by Elon Musk and his little shell organisation like X.
And did he pay you $54.20 per share?
Well, yeah, I got slightly more than 50. I got slightly more than 54.20. Yeah, only so slightly, because I didn't even own 2 shares. But you know. Yeah,
no, I meant.
Don't go very.
Did he pay $54.20 per share?
I got $54.20 out of the trading platform that I was on.
Right. Okay.
So I assume so. And with that, John, introduce the show.
Well, I'd like to thank you and welcome each one of you to this Dissent Live, episode 163.
Well, ho, ho, ho indeed. Ho, ho, ho indeed, John.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. And good afternoon to all of those joining us live. I can see some of you in there. Hello, Ogham. Hello, Natasha. Whoever 11. Luke, Honey Thunder, Artifacting Reality, and more. Whoever else is joining us live this afternoon. We are back. It's been a weekend. We have not been here, obviously. I came along Saturday night and I did a little bit of a sing-song for people, and I hope they enjoyed that. It was good fun. It was a good laugh. But let's just roll straight into the news, shall we, John? Because it's been a fucking weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been a weekend. Indeed it has.
Let's start with Suzanne here.
Look how fucking small that shit is.
Do you know what? I was actually about to ask you, has that been Photoshopped?
No, that's a video. That's a still from the video. That's
really how small our Prime Minister is.
He had to jump down from the back seat. You want to go and watch the short that I put up yesterday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's literally got to be a dwarf.
So Suzanne said in here, she tweets, unelected UK Prime Minister Rishi the Rat Sunak is the latest to rock up in the war zone in Kiev to see Zelensky handing over £50 million, the taxpayers' money, to the corrupt dancing clown.
I think it was one of my best works, yesterday's short.
I did see it. Yeah, I did see it.
I think you've got to watch it.
You've got to appreciate, especially that ending. Yeah, you have to appreciate it. People might get offended, but
I don't care. I don't care if you're offended.
We don't care, no.
No, because it's your right to be offended. We'll sit here and we will sit for your right to be offended.
Yeah, we will absolutely respect that right. We will uphold that right. We will fight for your right.
We will enable it.
So, what do you think then? It's time, wasn't it? It was time for him to go and see Zelensky. It was time for him to have his little photo op. Boris had done it several times, and Rishi was like, "It's my turn now."
He had to go and pay tribute to the actor stroke comedian who is chief architect of this Wag the Dog fairy tale that's going on over in Ukraine.
Now, I know you have a go at us a little bit, right? Spoiler alert: John's been chastising us for playing a bit too much Fortnite lately. Me and Adam especially, right? But there is a room in there where you run through and it's just green screens. It's just green screens and a chair, and we call it Zelensky's hideout. But it is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous. I mean, and so much so that you can tell that for many of his broadcasts he is sitting on a green screen. Yeah. And you're well, I don't know. Anyhow, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to casualty hospitalised after 999 response had chicken pox.
So that's right. This was Cornwall, okay? So everybody went on high alert, okay, because they thought they had cases of Ebola.
Okay.
Right, and they thought, oh my God, we've got Ebola in Cornwall. Things are going to go pear-shaped. Apparently they had cops in fucking hazmat suits and everything in the hospital.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
With guns, you know. I don't know why you need a gun to defend someone against Ebola, but anyway.
Because the Ebola could get you, John. It could jump. It could be round the corner. Better get it.
So it turns out it was chicken pox.
Ebola!
Turns out it was chicken pox. This is the state that the NHS and the country are in over over because of the last 3 years,
Yeah.
and the resurgence and the possible, mutation of what is a common cold virus. Right?
Yes, well, a common cold causing virus. Yes.
Yep. So this is the state. This is the response that was enacted for someone that had chicken pox.
Welcome to 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Your clown
gone
show
mad.
awaits.
Yeah, world's gone mad. It's just, and then speaking of clown shows, let's swiftly go over to Ukraine.
Hold on. I just got to get my mouse on the right screen. Now,
Yeah, let's swiftly go over to
the
Ukraine.
AFU,
Where if this is true, right,
right?
this is a war crime.
Well, it says the AFU have a Russian Federation soldier bound in a coffin. This is a prisoner of war. It could be a joke, or they could be preparing to bury him alive. Looking at the past treatment of the AFU with POWs, who knows? This is a war crime, even if it is a joke. And yes,
Well,
you're
it
absolutely
is.
right.
Yeah. And this is another video, and they start with taking the coffin off him, so he was actually in the coffin properly.
Christ.
And then they take it off, and the poor guy's like, what the, what? Probably in Russian, obviously, but what's going on? But yeah, so
I mean, this is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this is true, let's run with the it might be.
yeah,
What were they fucking thinking filming it?
see, this is the problem with these people, right? These people are sick in the head.
Well, you can
And-
say
and
that
we-
again.
And we're funding them, right?
Yeah.
But these people are sick in the head because, remember, these are the people that tie people to lampposts, half strip them and thrash them.
And paint them green.
Paint them green, yeah. These are the people that do that.
Yeah.
These are the people that are the top 3 peddlers of child pornography in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
In the
right?
world.
These are the people that have an appalling human rights record on women. Appalling. So
But
these
you're not
people
allowed
are
to
sick
talk
in the head.
about that, John.
Yeah.
That
well,
was
we're not.
Look, that stuff was only true and was absolutely being reported by the BBC, The Guardian, and the like, only up until 2021 or
Yeah, I know,
even
I know,
2022.
Yeah,
Right?
I know.
But the second it became politically inconvenient to talk about that stuff, suddenly they're the darlings. They're the
Yeah,
darlings.
Yeah.
Now they might be
course they are.
going through a shitty period, right? They may well be going through a shitty period, but that doesn't excuse those things. It doesn't excuse those things that you just said. Those things certainly need to be addressed. They certainly need to be acknowledged. And it shouldn't be so hard and so scary even to simply cite them, to talk about them, to talk about reality. But once again, I'm going to go back to what Dave Chappelle said the other night, because he said, it's becoming scary to speak, and he said he hopes that they don't take everything away from him.
Yeah, I know.
And he's a comedian.
I know. I mean, what gets me is, none of these people should have a voice on Twitter because they're all breaching Twitter's terms and conditions. They're all glorifying and promoting violence.
Yes, they are. You're right. You are 100%
That's what
right.
I get done for.
And you made a joke.
And I made a joke, and I got banned. But
Hello,
these people,
hello, Elon.
yeah, but these people like Defense of the Ukraine and all the Ukrainian official government accounts are promoting and glorifying violence.
I mean, they literally put up flashy posters. We've killed 80,000 people.
Yeah, they do.
What?
I mean, I don't know how you can walk around Ukraine because there must be a Russian tank in every bloody street corner that's been blown up.
There must be.
8,000 tanks. Where are they all?
It's a very good question.
8,000 tanks. Now, let's assume if they're blowing up Russian tanks, that generally these Russian tanks will be on Ukrainian soil.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't think that they're not really reaching into Russia much because I don't think they've got an air force left after they lost the ghost of Kiev. But anyway, so how can you move in Ukraine How can you go anywhere for all these destroyed Russian tanks that
I
are all over the
don't
place?
know. I really don't know. They must be absolutely everywhere. And once again, I've always said, everybody, you're a citizen journalist now. You've got a camera phone. You can
Show me.
live stream. You can film. Where is all this artillery? Where
Show
are
me
all
it.
these blown up tanks? Where are all these destroyed armoured personnel carriers? Where are all these downed helicopters outside of Tank Wars 2? Where are they? Because, like John said, you know, we should be able to see it. And that's the one thing that really does bother me about all of this, is that there should be a phone footage video coming every 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, there should be. It should be
Where
all
are
over the
they?
place. There's none.
It's
I mean, if you go to something like Reddit or 4chan or something, you might find some stuff. Right?
yeah.
But you shouldn't have to go and search for stuff like that when everybody and their auntie has a phone. I mean, you didn't have to go beyond Twitter during the Arab Spring. So everything occur live on Twitter,
Well,
right?
well, exactly.
So why would you think that it's not been shown here?
I
Because
honestly couldn't tell you.
Maybe it's only happening virtually.
Well, just like with our next slide, John, it is baffling.
It's fucking baffling, all right. It's really baffling, isn't
And
it?
this is really baffling as well. So according to News Target here, haven't verified them as a source, but according to News Target here, Africa is only 6% treated against the COOF, and the COOF
Well, I
has
think that's right.
practically disappeared.
Well, it never really raised its ugly head much, apart from in South Africa.
Well, no, because they weren't shoving a swab up everybody's nose 50 times a day.
Well, yeah, but yeah, so it's baffling, completely baffling.
Yeah, well, it's not, is it? I mean, what was it?
You know what it is!
Well, what was it that I was watching a little snippet from Timcast IRL, and Luke Rudkowski, Luke at We Are Change, said, what did he say? He called them natural immunity deniers, and he actually sells a T-shirt with Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci on it that says natural immunity deniers.
Yeah.
And-
Well,
and-
I mean, because you can't get herd immunity anymore naturally.
No,
It has to be applied by treatment.
Of course, John. Of course. Don't you know the science changed? The science.
Science changed. Yeah.
I'm just having a moment. Let's all take a moment. Let's place our hands together and let's praise the science. And as we praise the science, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You know you want to. Shall we
Shut
move
up
on?
already? It's science.
Yes. Let's move on. Right. So we have to be careful probably on this one.
Yeah, this is. I don't even know if I can put this on screen. That's how careful we have to be
Well,
here.
we're not telling people to take it, but what we are saying is the FDA said they never said not to.
Yeah,
That's a lie.
that's a lie.
That's a goddamn lie.
So when it comes to court, the FDA are basically tail between their legs, trying to rewrite the history, trying to rewrite the narrative of the last 2.5 years. They're telling people that now they never did. They didn't say don't take schmeiverschmectin. And I mean, the FDA themselves didn't say to people, come on now, you're not cows or anything like that, or you're not horses or
Yeah.
or anything like that. They didn't say that, did they, John?
No, they didn't.
Those tweets don't still exist, do they, John?
No, of course they don't.
They
and,
do.
And of course, yeah. And of course, and young Matty Hancock there, he never said that it was a law. It was only guidance.
Oh yeah, he did say that in the jungle, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
But so
history
people
is
got
being rewritten.
People got fined on guidance. Is
Yeah,
that right?
People got fined on guidance. The second he said that, as the man that signed it all into law,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All of the fines should be cancelled. Surely.
Oh, yeah, you would have thought so.
Yep.
I think if I'd been fined, I would have be asking for a refund right now. Well, not that I'd have paid it in the first place.
Now, staying in the vein of science and the science and
It's
medication,
risky.
even is what you are about. What I'm about to put on screen.
Well, it's not. It is true, but not quite the way it's been presented here.
Okay,
right?
so do tell us.
Yeah, it's not the whole of Canada at the moment. It's Ontario.
Okay, so in Ontario,
Ontario has recommended to its medical profession that those that don't want to take any kind of treatment, right, should be screened and possibly diagnosed with a mental illness.
because they don't want to take a medication.
Well, it's not a medication as such. It's a treatment to prevent future infection.
I'm just going to ask this question, and I know the answer is badly, but how did we ever survive as a species before medical science?
Oh, there are things later on that are going to boggle the mind as to how we are even going to survive as a species now.
Well, this is ridiculous. Don't take our treatment, and we'll take you for treatment. It's basically but we'll take you for a different kind of treatment. We will indoctrinate you. We will reprogram you.
Yeah, we'll put you in a psychiatric setting, and then we'll probably force treat you anyway.
Either that, or they'll go, well, if you want to go back to your normal life, wouldn't this be better?
There's a doctor in Switzerland who was forced to take psychiatric drugs because he wouldn't take the treatment, and he had to take the psychiatric drugs to be released from the psychiatric institution. So there you go. Clown world, right enough. As you said, it's been a weekend, hasn't it?
It's been a weekend, and let's move on to the...
So it's been a weekend for Mr. Macron.
Because we revisited an old video of Mr. Macron earlier, I'm now going to call him Slappy.
Oh, he's been slapped a couple of times.
Slappy Macron.
Yeah, Slappy Macaroon.
Slappy Macaroon.
He says, stop calling me a conspiracy theorist, but here he is telling you in real life that he does want one global order for the world, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
many people are saying this now. You know, you're seeing the even the NWO is something you can't say on YouTube. They'll slap a warning on you, right? If you talk about the NWO as a thing, even when people are on verified. Did you see the Tim Pool tweet where it was like a verified news broadcast with world leaders actually uttering the phrase NWO, and YouTube had stuck a warning on it going, the NWO is a conspiracy theory.
But
I mean, what? Whilst they're saying it at a briefing.
Bush says it, Klaus says it,
yep.
Blair said it,
yep.
Obama said it,
yep.
I mean, they've all said it.
But it's a conspiracy theory, John. It's not true. YouTube said so.
It's a conspiracy theory.
And whoever 11 says, have you seen the logo for APEC, the summit that Macron's speaking at?
What can you possibly mean?
No.
Now, it really works here because they put it on a blue screen. Because normally, if the background's white, as you can see, the blue bits are still there, and it's not quite as obvious, right? But here it's particularly obvious. But
that is hilarious.
Whoever thought that was a great idea is either having a laugh, right, or somebody's colorblind.
Ja, mein Führer Macron. Ja, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Really? Really?
I can't believe that whoever had even doubted for an instant that we wouldn't have picked that one up.
I mean, that's... I don't even have words for this. Someone was... No. Someone at that summit was trolling Emmanuel, weren't they? The tech guy, their Adam, was trolling Macron, wasn't they?
It's a classic, isn't it?
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh,
And speaking of insane, and speaking of this insane, it is currently the holiday season, and you find me fondling my balls. More about that later. Join the Discord anyway. Adam will put it in the chat. Let's move on, shall we, to the dailymail.com. Well, the female-specific section of the Daily Mail, shall we? Shall we head over there?
Yeah. Apparently, studies are showing that microplastics are a good thing in your food, as they act as beneficial dietary fibre. That's the same as having bullshit in your news.
I'm moving straight on. I'm moving. What have you done to me today, John? What is this? Are you trolling me? Is that what this is? Are you trolling me?
Well, the next one is Elon Musk. After or before or whatever, this is a really dodgy picture.
It is,
because she looks a bit young, to be fair.
Elon Musk put out a poll, didn't he, over the weekend?
Yeah.
Should I reinstate Donald Trump? And by, I think it was 52 to 48, the same as Brexit.
Yeah.
Yes, won out, and he's done it. He's reinstated Donald Trump's account. Now, before we talk about this, I must say, the meltdown on Twitter has been right.
Glorious.
Let me just phrase this. Let me set this scene for you properly. All that's happened here is the
Move
account
on to the next slide.
Okay. All that's happened here is that the account is visible. Donald Trump has not logged into this account. Donald Trump has not tweeted from this account. Donald Trump has not used this account. And yet the meltdown is fucking glorious. It is glorious to behold. And do you know what? It completely undermines the entire narrative of January the 6th, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are those here in the
surely
list?
Does.
Are those tweets here in the list?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, the ones where. Well, I mean, we know these. Yeah, I'm not going to go in. I'm not even going to dignify January 6th with a response because the whole thing's ridiculous. I mean, we've seen those tweets on a number of occasions. You could have still got them on the Wayback Machine. Yeah. And now they're back in Twitter. And you can see that.
And it's
he didn't call for anything.
He didn't call for... No, he didn't.
Peaceful protest.
He called for peaceful protest. And in fact, he gave a press conference after the fact saying that they will all be dealt with the fullest extent of the law, that they are a disgrace. They do not represent America.
Yep.
How can he be held accountable for that?
No, if you're
it's just Russia all over again, isn't it? Just make it up and hope it sticks.
If you're a wishy-washy Democrat, you've got to hold somebody accountable, and it can't possibly be your own side. So, of course it was the Donald.
Yeah, just make it up and hope it sticks. And speaking of things that are quite often made up, according to Maggie Chapman, member of Scottish Parliament, this month is Islamophobia Awareness Month. Hate crime stats show that Islamophobia remains a problem throughout the UK. We can be better than this. We can build inclusive, loving communities for all. First step is #tackling denial.
Well, you say that, but do you know who makes the most complaints about Islam?
Well, isn't it like Hindus and Sikhs?
No.
Who is it then?
It's Islamic women.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that. I mean,
so why are you targeting this at us, Maggie?
I mean,
if anyone's got Islamophobia, it appears to be the people within the religion who are female. And maybe with just cause when you see some of the things that apply to women in that religion. You know?
It's not something that we're allowed to criticise, John. We're not Muslims.
What the fuck can we talk about these days? We can't talk about that. We can't talk about this. We can't talk about that. I mean, we can talk about white people and Christians being bad.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad. Yeah, bad.
Yeah. And Putin. We can put bad man Putin.
Putin!
Putin!
Putin! You naughty, naughty, naughty man.
Bad man.
You
bad man, Putin.
Bastard! Anyhow, let's have a look at this then. This is from the Telegraph. Half of NHS England staff facing the sack. Please do elaborate and expand.
It's...
This is
and?
so this aren't
Right,
they the biggest employer in the country for starters?
Right. Yes, the NHS is the biggest employer in the UK.
One of the biggest in the world, in fact.
Yeah, well, yes, it is. The NHS has more management levels than you can shake a stick at.
Mm.
So maybe if you got rid of some of those additional levels of management,
Yes.
it might actually work a little bit better, and your money might be used to more effect rather than just paying like diversity managers and TikTok coordination choreographers and things like that. So
and things like, I mean, sometimes when I go to one of my local hospitals, they've got a paid pianist in the lobby. He sits there playing piano and he's paid to do it.
Yeah, but it's soothing, isn't it?
But just stick some music on the fucking sound system.
Yeah.
Stick on Spotify. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Honestly, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, it's not just diversity. They have arts coordinators.
It's an organisation gone awry. That's what it is, mate. It's just, this is what happens when you throw public money at, an organisation that can brook no criticism, because
and it has to spend it.
One cannot possibly criticise the sacred cow that is the NHS. It's there for you when you need it, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? What do you mean it's not? What do you mean people are dying because of this misdiagnosis, because of not being treated, because of not having follow-up appointments, because of not being able to get their medications? No, surely not. This can't have happened. Not by the sacred cow that is the NHS. No.
I mean, I won't say what.
I don't believe you.
I won't say what department. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but John will know this. I'm under referral to a department. How long's the referral, John?
2 years.
2 years before I get to see someone.
Yeah.
2
and it's not
years.
It's not as if it's for something important like pain or anything like that.
No, it's not. No, yeah. 2 years. 2 years.
2 years.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That's a fantastic waiting time, fantastic waiting period for us there. And you're right? These people have got to go. The middle managers, the pianists, the diversity managers, the people that curate the art collections in the hospitals. Get fucking rid of them. Sorry, and I'm sorry I'm swearing on the show once again, but get rid of them. Pump that money into frontline services. Hire more doctors. Hire more nurses. Hire more consultants. Buy more ambulances. Put that money there, right? That will help, and that will help the public, and that will ultimately help the NHS as well. So, it's a no-brainer. And actually something, if the government of this country actually follow through on, something I'll agree that our government is doing. Should be done. Sorry, but if you don't like me for saying that, I don't care. I don't care. And speaking of people who clearly don't care.
No, they don't, because despite saying they wouldn't, they are.
So the England football team are going to take the knee at the Qatar World Cup. I don't even know why they do this, right?
Because Gareth Southgate is a twat. And a virtue signalling twat at that. That's the only thing. I mean, this is a guy who cries at missing penalties, isn't it?
Yeah,
he did
clearly
do that, didn't he? I mean, he's a big girl's blouse, right? And I'm hoping not to misgender him at this point, but he really is a big girl's blouse. And Harry Kane is a mercenary because he said he wasn't going if he couldn't. If he couldn't wear his. He said he wasn't going, didn't he? Because he wasn't going to he wasn't going to
support such a rights abusing nation, basically.
Yes, exactly. Right. But now he's gone to the point that he's even going to take his one world armband off because you know
one
what?
One love armband or something.
Sorry, one love. Yeah, one love, one world, whatever. There is no one love in this world. No. There isn't. especially in countries like Qatar and Kuwait and Abu Dhabi and all this, they are Islamic Sharia law countries, and you won't get away with it.
No, and they were going to wear these One Love armbands. That was they're going to be their little protest, wasn't it? It was going to be their little protest.
Yeah.
They were going to show solidarity, and then FIFA turned around to them this morning and said, "You'll be booked, you'll be carded if you do it."
And
they
the rest
all,
of them folded as well.
They all folded and fell down like a house of cards. Now, the only way that you could have ever protested this regime and the things that they do is the second they got announced as the host for this World Cup, you'd have gone, there's always 2026.
Yeah, we're not going.
Not going.
Should have done. Should have just said, no, we're not going.
Not going. I won't be watching it. It won't be going on in my household.
You should have qualified for it.
And then not gone.
Just not turned up.
Yeah, just don't turn up.
Just don't fucking turn up.
But they're all there. They're all going.
Yeah, they're all playing the game. Because remember, people, it's a game.
According to Natasha, they are winning. I think they're playing right now. Are they playing right now?
I don't really give a monkey's toss.
No, I don't give a monkey's toss either. I won't be watching it.
It's not something I care about, and I certainly have no respect for them whatsoever.
No, I none. None.
You know, they are, and their commentators and all that. The rest of them, they are nothing but mercenaries. Because they've all talked about how poor the human rights record is. Oh, and the BBC called it out the other night, but still showing all the shit.
Yep.
Still doing it.
Still pumping the money. Well, also taking the money, but also making the country a significant amount of money in the process. Then you've got people like Budweiser, who are one of the key sponsors, and one of the agreements for hosting was to be selling Budweiser beer.
Oh, no, you can't
exclusively.
do that. No.
Last minute U-turn.
No alcohol. No.
At that point, everyone should have gone, this is a bait and switch, out.
Yeah.
You know, right up until that first game kicked off, you all could have held the moral high ground. But the second that first game kicked off, you've lost it. You've all lost it. Is Joe Lycett on the list?
No, but he shredded his £10,000, didn't he?
Chucked £10,000 cash in a shredder yesterday.
Yeah, and he was going to donate it to an LGBTQ plus whatever charity off Gary Lineker's choice. Is that right?
David Beckham.
Oh, sorry, David Beckham's choice. If Beckham renounced the thing and came back home. And
he didn't do it. In fact, he just ignored it.
Yeah, he didn't even recognise it. So, well done, David. You just cost that charity $10,000.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of criticism for Joe Lycett actually on Twitter over the last couple of days. Well, over the last 24 hours or so, because he chucked $10,000. He chucked $10,000.
That's money.
I know, but people are turning around and saying, cost of living, it's that time.
Yeah, okay.
And I get it.
Who's he going to help? Who's $10,000 going to help? How's he going to pick who that $10,000 helps?
Well, you're exactly right. And it is his money. It is his money.
It's his money. It's up to him what he does with it. And he was making a gesture. I mean, okay, it might be a bit of virtue signalling.
Okay. There's a bit of an update here.
Oh, what?
According to DW, he's put in a link to ITV, and apparently it was fake money.
Well, that's no fucking use then, is it?
Well, no, that just means that he's not a man of his word, and we should not really listen to people like Joe Lycett, who, he's not really.
Well, there you go. Well done. Thank you for that, DW.
Yeah, thank you for giving us that update. That's ridiculous, then. Or do you think he's now turning around and saying it's fake money because of all the backlash he got?
Well, no, we don't know that, do we? So
no. I mean,
but if he's turning around and saying it's fake money because of the backlash, then he's not a man of his word either. So he's not prepared to stand by by his own convictions, is he?
No.
So, fuck you, Lycett. You're a twat. Another twat.
Let's move on, shall we?
We're racking them up. Speaking of twats, this is the Home Office.
Well, there's not much more to be said about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a country that's still, what? England's what? Still 87, 88%?
Yeah.
There seems to be a vast overrepresentation of the wrong type. Not that I'm saying, when I say wrong type, I meant in regard to the balance, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean that there was a wrong type.
No. But I get what you're saying. You're trying to say that the racial demographic of the Home Office is not in consistency with the racial demographic of the country.
It is not.
In fact,
very much not.
In fact, it seems to be very much in the, I would say, the opposite swathe of the racial demographic of the country.
Yeah, remarkably so. In
yes.
fact, it seems to be that it would almost speak of positive discrimination.
No such thing.
Yes, indeed. You say so.
No, there's no such thing. No such thing as positive discrimination. Discrimination is discrimination, and it is always negative.
Yeah.
You can put a spin on it and call it positive if you like. You're just a lying bastard. It's as simple as that. You just want to justify your own disgusting actions. That's all you want to do. And speaking of...
Speaking of Disney, what have they done?
They've made a very good decision.
Do you think so?
Oh, okay. So you know what I used to do and things like that. This man, Bob Chapek, who's been fired, before he was CEO of the entire Walt Disney Company, he was head of parks, resorts, and experiences. So he was the man in charge of the theme parks and the budgets and the rides and the new stuff like that. And he was the man that cut every single budget to the bone, right? And delivered just piles upon piles of human feces to the theme parks and called it experience, and charged top dollar for it as well. Just kept raising the prices.
Yep.
So when he was installed as CEO, me and my friends and the people we all just went, what?
No.
What? Why is this man becoming the CEO? But there you go. He's been fired because he's run the company practically into the ground. Mm-hmm. And the old CEO, Bob Iger, who was retired, I believe, he's even released a book since leaving his position about his time at the Walt Disney Company and other things. They've asked him back. They've said, come on back.
Well, his book couldn't have been too controversial, and obviously he's a valued member of the previous Disney management team, because I've no doubt they had to coax him back with a copious amount of cash.
I imagine it's a heavy amount of cash, yeah. And I think that this is a testament to the phrase "get woke, go broke," because the Walt Disney Company has gone extremely woke. I mean,
I think we're getting to the point I've got to make that ESG video.
Yeah, I think you might have to.
Yeah, because this is good, because we've had Netflix, now we've had Disney, and they're all starting to turn their backs on them now. And this is good. This could be the end for them. I hope it is.
I hope so.
It could be the start of the beginning of the end.
I hope so too. I mean, Chapek managed to do things like make Disney Plus, the streaming service, extremely profitable. I say Chapek managed to do that.
Yeah.
The lockdowns and people have nothing else to do managed to do that, right? Yeah. The parks obviously bombed and lost millions, if not billions of dollars during their time being closed. I mean, Florida, the biggest parks, were actually only closed for about 4 weeks, and then they reopened them.
Yeah.
But California's parks were closed for over a year longer, right? Mm-hmm. So the blame can't be solely placed upon Chapek. He just took the reins at the wrong time. But then he has championed woke projects. He has, and this shit keeps losing money. This shit. I mean, look at the original Black Panther, right? Mm-hmm. That grossed over $1 billion. It was revolutionary, apparently. I don't quite understand why, but it was. And people loved it. The sequel's come out, and apparently it's bombed. It's flopped. Nobody wants to, because it's a pile of woke, and many people are even calling it racist shit. So, and this is the stuff that Bob Chapek greenlit that he's behind, and
Yeah.
so he had to go, right? He had to go.
Yeah.
The board only got behind him a few months ago and extended his contract, so something's obviously happened. Something's obviously happened that's so bad that it happened at 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday night.
Yeah, numbers have come in or something.
Yeah.
Something's happened. Well, maybe it was the Black Panther thing. The Wakanda Forever, whatever it was called. Black Panther 2, whatever. I don't know.
Could well be, but at 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, the email went out. JPEG's gone. Iger's back.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think hopefully they've got the right man in charge to start turning things around. I can't say whether or not that's the case. I will say that when they installed Bob Chapek, I was bemused. But then again, Bob Iger handpicked him. So is he the right man?
Yeah.
We don't know. We just don't know. Shall we move on to a tweet here from Dagny Taggart? What's here? Come on.
Well, you know what here is, right? Here is a complete lack of calls for Article 4 or Article 5.
Yeah.
Because what we have here is a NATO country that's being attacked by another country who's not in NATO, and no calls for Article 5. Why? Why not? Strange that, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
I mean, Turkey's been in NATO since 1952. It's not as if they're recent members, you know. I mean, last I checked, the Yanks have got a number of military bases in Europe and Turkey with thousands of people stationed there.
I can tell you why. I can tell you the answer right now, and it's that there are no woke points to be gained. There's no virtue signaling points. It's as simple as that. There is no woke points. There is no virtue signal to be had here, John. Yeah. And that's it. Let's move on to let's go to the wee old land of Scotland, shall we, John?
It appears that the bastard son might be on their last legs now because she's celebrating.
I've been hearing that for years.
Well, she's celebrating her anniversary, and they're running out. They really are starting to run out of excuses for her.
Really?
Because they're starting to run out of excuses for her because she has just presided over a complete and utter list of failures, and now they're saying that she could, if she did get, they're trying to say if she did get an independent Scotland, it would be debt free.
Yeah.
No, it would not.
How would it? How would it?
It can't possibly be. I mean, she has, at the expense of the Scottish people, spent the last 8 years going for one goal at the expense of absolutely everything else. Yeah. Remember, so Scotland still has the highest drug death rates in Europe. Right now, I mean, this is despite having that was 3 years ago they set up that committee to look at it and see if they could come up with a plan. Yeah, you didn't need a committee. All you had to do was copy any other European country's approach to drugs, and you would do better.
Yeah,
that's it. Any other country does better than Scotland, so you can't go wrong. But you're still the worst because you didn't do that. You paid 2 academics hundreds of thousands of pounds who then turned around and goes, oh, we're feeling a bit pressured. We're not doing it anymore, and you're not getting anything from us, and you're not getting the money back. So it was like a complete waste of money.
Mr. Jungle Griffin makes a very good point in the chat. He says the alcohol tax didn't work out too well because people are starving their families to get a drink.
But this is the case. This is what always happens when. I mean, I used to go to reports of people doing shoplifting, and they'd have stolen ham and cheese and things and shoved it down their trousers, and they'd have went through the checkout with a bottle of vodka and paid for the bottle of vodka.
Yeah,
because if they paid for the vodka, they get the vodka back. If they get caught,
exactly, they paid for it.
They don't get the ham and cheese. But they get the vodka back.
Exactly, they paid for it.
It shows you what's important to them. So anyway,
that's actually quite heavy, and you know what? I would like to come up to Scotland soon and have a nice ferry ride with you, John.
I don't think I'll ever go on those ferries. I saw this. I saw this list today from No Contest Brits. Causes of death in London, 1632. Some of them are fantastic.
Go for
I just
it.
think, well, look at them, like, aged 628. That's old age. People died of old age. Well, that's fine.
Before you continue, don't tell me to look at something when you know how shit my eyes are.
Yeah, okay.
I
So
can't read that.
I'll read out some other highlights. How about you died of bit with a mad dog?
Sounds like a normal way to go, John.
Yeah. Or bloody flux, souring, and flux. I've no idea what that was, but 248 people died of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, quite a lot. What about childhood?
Just died of childhood.
Died of being a child. 171 children.
Wow.
I don't know what. Chrysomes and infants. 2,268. So that would probably be to do with childbirth and something around that.
Yeah, perhaps.
Because the death in childhood was very high there, and that's why the average life expectancy is really low. Once you got through childhood, you tended to live to about 80 or 90. And
Does
much
one
like
of them
people do
say
these days.
French pox?
Yes, it does. How would you like to have died of flocks and smallpox?
I can see here that 27 people died of worms.
Yes, and 12 people died of the said French pox.
They did, yeah.
Now, the other one is killed by several accidents.
By several accidents? Not just an accident!
46 people died of several accidents. And underneath that, 28 people died from the king's evil.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's move on. We might come back to this one day. It's quite good.
The Vermont sheriff's deputy shot by cops in upstate New York following gunfight.
This, as you have no doubt guessed, came from our friends at the New York Post.
Yes, it did.
Okay. So, guy's out having a drink off duty, gets into an argument, gets thrown against a car by 3 other men or something, pulls out gun. Other guys are armed as well. Gunfight ensued between sheriff's deputy and other guys.
Right.
Then the police arrive on the scene. Sheriff's deputy refuses to put gun down, gets shot by cops.
Yep.
Sheriff's deputy has 10 gunshot wounds.
Ooh.
10. Still not dead. What a shit show. And this is in Vermont. Vermont's like Sleepyville.
Well, it's in upstate New York, actually.
Yeah, Sleepyville. No, it's in Vermont. Vermont's not in upstate New York.
It says Vermont sheriff's deputy shot by cops in upstate New York.
Right, he was, but upstate New York's in Sleepyville. It's Sleepyville, New York. Once you're outside the New York City, New York is Sleepyville.
Okay. Well,
yes.
I mean, like you said, an absolute shit show, and I hope the guy pulls through.
Yeah, I know.
10 fucking gunshot wounds. It's like Lord of the Rings. You see the first Lord of the Rings film, Fellowship of the Ring, right?
Yeah.
And Boromir's just running, Sean Bean's just running down full of arrows. And he's like, I'm Sean Bean! I'm Sean Bean! It's basically that. He's Sean Bean. He's the Sean Bean of Vermont police officers.
So, right, moving on to the more light-hearted section of the news of today.
I've seen the next slide already, and I don't know if I want to flick to it, to be honest.
Yeah, I just had to. I think that there's the resemblance between the Gettr traditional headgear and those of Jamjals is quite astounding. Why not mock the country that has one of the worst records on human rights?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, why not? You know, what's the worst they could do? Put us on a hit list?
Oh, we're probably on several of those already, John.
Fatwa, or whatever they call it.
Probably on. Right, let's have a look at this.
That's one just begs the question. Why as a race do we still exist?
So this is an actual verified purchase. This is an Amazon review, right? And it says false advertisement, and this is on a TV, 50-inch TV. Purchased the Samsung 8 Series TU 8000 50-inch. After unpacking, I found that the 50-inch I purchased was actually 44-inch. How's that? The box is only 49-inch. There's no way the phone protection TV could be 50 inches.
This is a scam.
It's not.
I need my money or a 50-inch Samsung TV. Now, the really disturbing part, other than the fact that if you have any kind of brain, you know that TVs are measured diagonally. from corner to corner and not across it. But 642 other people found this helpful. It's my God. The human race doesn't deserve to exist, does it? It really doesn't.
I'm losing everything. The will to live, the will to try and bring joy of any kind to this world. I wonder how are we meant to do it, John? How are we meant to do it with people like this in the world? I mean, most of the TV boxes, get TV, it comes in a box. Most of it has pictures, corner to corner, 50-inch. There'll be arrows on the fucking box.
I know.
Oh, these people are just stupid.
Yep, they are.
Right.
Speaking of stupidity, we can always rely on Australia.
It's a very censored picture.
Yeah, it is a censored picture because it's a picture of the home screen of Pornhub that somebody hacked and put on a billboard beside a major highway in Australia. So apparently it was up for over 3 minutes before the billboard people were able to bring it down. I'm just glad that there weren't any car accidents as a result of it.
You know what? To that disgruntled employee, I salute you. I salute you. That wasn't a hacker. It was a disgruntled employee, or it was Steve having a joke.
Yeah. So the next one, and the last one for today, I think has to have come from Ireland. It has to have come from Ireland. Because it looks to me like a hen party in Dublin. What's the chances of running into a gaggle of nuns with a 4-foot inflatable penis? That's obviously the bride-to-be holding the said inflatable. And across the other side of the road, waiting for the green man, is a large group of nuns. That's just a joy. Even if that's set up, it's a joy.
I've got nothing.
And with that,
before you do send them away, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that if you have enjoyed this little dabble into the news, then please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and most importantly, click that share button. And then we'll get the other things out of the way with. So if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent or Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent. And as it's the festive season and the tree of representation is now lit, if you would like to sponsor one of my balls, you can put a £10 donation in at paypal.me/wheeliebricks and leave a short message to place upon your ball. It will go on the tree. It's your ball for the entirety of the Christmas season. Your name, your message will sit upon our tree. So also join the Discord. You can just sort it out in there as well, because there's a sponsor Ben's balls section in there.
Yeah.
But please, whilst I'm fondling at least one of my balls, I'll fondle this ball as well, just to be even. Sponsor my balls.
So with that, I'd like to thank one and all for attending this, episode 163 of Chasing Dissent Live. It's been great. For you.
Christmas, all the Christmas trees